Hola, buenas a todos y bienvenidos a mi canal. Y estamos aquí con Final Fantasy XVI. Vamos en principio segunda play por el 86%. O sea que nada, vamos a proseguir. Nos queda un pool más de misiones secundarias. Bueno, lo que hay. Así que... ¿cacerías quedaban? En principio no van a dar nuevas secundarias. O sea, cacerías. O sea, que a lo mejor no hay más. No sé, no tengo ni idea. Vale, pues nada, vamos por aquí. No vamos a hacer ninguna principal, nada. O sea, vamos a ir por secundarias. Y vamos viendo un poquito. En principio nos desbloquea algo pasivo, ¿no? ¿Esto es el qué? Pero vamos, tiene pinta que estas son las últimas secundarias antes de ir al final.
Ah, Sid. Just the man I was hoping to see.
Don't tell me. You need more bomb ash.
Oh no, we still got plenty of that left. I'm working on bringing another one of the chiefs. It's got a reverberatory hood over the top for additional thermal amplification and a system of reciprocal recirculation. Let's just say it gets very blimmin' hot. A heck of a lot hotter than anything Blackthorn's got in storage, that's for certain. Only mithril engines get hotter, and you can't chuck ore in one of them. Trouble is, we won't be able to make out of any old rub. And I hear you once helped Helena get her hands on exactly that.
Ah, ¿hemos conseguido eso? Ay, qué linda.
If it's for the good of the hideaway, I'd...
Oh, it is.
So, what exactly is this good stuff you need me to find?
We've got a couple of examples here.
More fallen materials. So this smelter is similar to the mithril engine in more...
That's right. They're a bit like the thermal helms. Fallen ceramics, and what's more, they're directional, transferring heat from the inside to the outside. We've collected as many as we can, and I know where we can get the rest.
Vale. Vamos a ir a... Es que hay un sitio, pero para que a lo mejor eso es en game, es que no lo sé. Que
So you
está
want me to visit
cerrado
some
desde el
ruins,
principio del juego
destroy
que
some
nos lo
echoes,
mostraron. No sé
and
muy
bring
bien.
back the spheres they're guarding?
That's it in a nutshell. Yeah, we're only 3 short, mind. And we know exactly where they are. There's one up Amber Way, and another in the Silent South, over in Dalmekia. Last one is in the Ruins of Advent, which is in...
All right then.
Uf, 3
Will do.
sitios.
I'll be...
Vamos a estar yendo a full, de un lado para otro. Mierda, tenía que ir para otro lado. Vamos desde aquí.
Oh, the stew's awfully thin these days.
Estaría guapo enfrentar a un Berkimo, ¿eh? A uno no enfrenta a ninguno, ¿eh? Tiene que haber alguno. Vale.
There's no way of knowing if Doris will confide in me.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of patio nuts and all.
Not saying for you, dear.
Hostias. Son solamente 3, ¿eh? Oh, cachondo enseguida con nada, tío. Gracias, Rosa.
No scratches, all right?
Para esto necesitamos lengua pétrea. O sea, esto es como... Estos son como una cacería. Vale.
And
Come back. Covered in nicks and lumps, the lot.
Where are you?
Can I help you, Sid?
I'm looking for Doris. Is she here?
I'm afraid not. She's at Martha's Rest on my job, actually. When she heard what the mission was, she insisted on going herself.
Did she?
Following up on some... Once they'd settled in, the bearers you helped liberate in the Dragon's Eyrie were keen to talk about their imprisonment.
The slaver Cole's team were tracking when they were attacked by the Beastmen. I'll go and find her. She's at Martha's Rest, you say?
If she's not moved on already, yes.
Why would Doris insist
Hay
on
una cosa
going
que quiero ver
alone?
respecto a esto.
Maybe Cole was right to be worried.
Y es lo de la
Back
niña.
again.
A ver si vuelve a salir.
Allow me to educate you. Here's the latest information I have.
Aún sigue aquí la niña, los cojones, ¿eh? Porque pone noble acaudalado si es Byron. Porque lo llaman así. No entiendo. Capitana de Enterprise.
One must understand one's place in the world. Thus ends today's lesson.
Vale, vamos a hacer las secundarias. Oh, escándalo que no hay. Oh, Dios.
There were ghosts at the gates, not Daisy. Those things I said before.
So many were injured.
Oh, Clive. What am I to do?
¿Qué ha pasado a esto?
My wards and I may soon be without a home.
What's happened?
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne and taken up residence here in Northreach.
The High Cardinal?
Leader of the Council of Elders, second only to his Radiance at the head of the Imperial government. Not that any of those things still exist. Now he goes by his noble title, the Duke of Oriflamme.
And what does he want with Northreach?
He wants to transform it into a military stronghold, a foundation upon which to build a new Sambrec. He's already secured the support of the various army remnants, with promises that they shall be afforded the respect they deserve in his empire. One built on the confiscated property of the people.
He would rob the populace to pay for it.
Believe me, I have used every means of persuasion to discourage him from this folly. But for whatever reason, he will not listen to me.
What does Captain Philippe make of this? When the town was under attack, it was him the soldiers rallied around. Couldn't he use that influence again?
How? By speaking out against one of the most powerful men in Sambrec. A man whose stated aim is to revive the empire Philippe's comrades swore to serve, and to improve the soldiers' lot within it. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel, and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. The Duke? No. Any attempt to incite mutiny would cost Philippe the support of his men. But given the mood around town, mutiny may yet be unavoidable.
And who could blame them?
Clive, would you appeal to the Duke for your services to Northreach? You have the respect of the soldier, and unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty prevent you. Well, will you try?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Clive.
Tell me then, where will I find this Duke of Oriflamme? In the garrison?
Overseeing the troops.
All right. Wish me luck. I may have met this Duke before, at the Remembrance Ceremony. Let's hope I didn't make a strong impression.
Halt! Oh, sorry about that. You're the dame's man, aren't you? You got some business with the captain?
No, actually. With the Duke. I was hoping I might be able to speak with him.
We're under orders not to let any civilians pass. But you should be all right. His Eminence has heard all about you and your heroics. Wait here. I'll go and ask.
So, you are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison. The Empire owes you a debt, and I shall see it repaid. But tell me, is it wealth that you seek, or favor?
Neither, Your Eminence. I thought only to inquire about your plan to turn Northreach into a stronghold.
Ah, I see. You are worried the expanded garrison will render your services redundant. Yet you needn't be. A proud fighting man like yourself shall always have a place here. Pride of place, in fact. For too long has the contribution of the noble soldier been under-reckoned. But no more. For it is they who shall see the Holy Empire rebuilt, beginning right here in Northreach.
Why here, Your Eminence?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely unscathed from the recent troubles. Her defenses are sound, and her garrison well prepared. Which is more than can be said for Oriflamme or Twinside. The Empire wants for a capital, and I believe Northreach to be the perfect place. With Caer Norvent as her citadel. Once we have seen to the refortification of both the town and the castle, we need only build a wall around both to create a city that would be the envy of the twins. Plans are already underway for the construction. Soon enough, these thralls shall learn that they are no match for the might of Sanbreque.
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force, you will need all the people of Northreach to come together in defense of the town. Something they may be loath to do if they've been deprived of their worldly goods.
The people will do as their leaders command. If Sanbreque is to be rebuilt, she will require a functioning government. One whose authority is beyond question. That is why this levy is necessary. So that any man who wishes to join the army might do so and be fed, outfitted, and paid as befits a defender of the Empire. And yet there are those who persist in peddling the treasonous lie that I
suspect they're afraid.
Precisely. The common folk have little and less, and you mean to deprive them of even that. You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salted earth.
Sabine, we have discussed this.
Yes, And I told you then how putting the Empire before her citizens...
Without an empire, there are no citizens.
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
Do not take her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later. The citizens' revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan.
A ver, tienen razón.
It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose. Let's begin with those on the other side of the wall.
All right there.
Just your opinion, actually. I wondered what you thought of the Duke of...
Not much. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop this side of the wall in the first place. And now he's trying to drive us out completely, threatening if the dame said she wanted him run out of town, I'd be straight through that checkpoint, tar bucket in hand.
I got peppers to numb your tongue up.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about a certain...
Nothing good, I'll wager. Going around acting like he owns the place, and with hardly a word to the dame. This is her town, not his.
I take it you'd rather she was in charge.
As far as I'm concerned, she's still it. Just need his eminence to sod off back to Oriflamme.
Why? Your stall is...
A question, if you don't mind. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
Don't get me started. You build a life for yourself somewhere, only for some noble to turn up and tell you you've got to hand it all over to him. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, he's in for a rude awakening. We'll do whatever it takes to keep what's ours. Whatever it takes.
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers?
Los soldados estarán mixtos un poco.
Those things I said before.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the...
Well, he's made a... I mean, look around us. The traders might not like having the screws put on them, but if they volunteered, a few think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the Empire's the best way. And if that means people who don't know one end of a sword from another have to make way for those who do...
You needn't fret. The creatures have been...
You're the one who was talking to His Eminence.
On the Dame's behalf, yes. I was trying to persuade him not to... What do you think of his plans?
I'm a soldier, mate. He tells me, well, listen, I've got nothing but respect for the Dame. That's where my loyalties lie. Not with the town or the Empire. If the Duke can get us cement and the equipment we need to fight off those...
As long as you remain...
Está muy 50-50, eh.
Sabine, you are embarrassing me.
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into... Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not for me to say. All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise... Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs. Once Sanbreque is back on her feet...
Let's see what Philippe makes of all this.
Creo que nunca ha venido por esta parte. Tal cual, creo que nunca ha venido por esta salida.
Captain.
For you? Certainly. Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of... Do you intend to go along with this plan?
But to tell you the truth, I'm in two minds. It's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey...
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved.
That's right. I did.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either.
And she's probably right. Thank you, Clive. I know what I need to do now. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Well, duty calls. Thanks again.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that, if nothing else.
Ah, Clive. Were you able to speak with the Duke?
I was.
So Northreach is to be a fort. Well, it will certainly help to hold back the thralls. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople whose worldly... They deserve to be heard, Clive. To have a say in this new empire the Duke means to build.
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their opinions, and hopes to reassert the authority of the state. I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard to be sacrificed for the greater good. Needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion, and the soldiers, meanwhile, are content to follow their orders. And not just because of the Duke's rank, but because of his vision.
I thought as much. Had I sworn to protect Sambrek, I dare say I too would want nothing. Thank you for trying.
I don't know about that.
What happened to your uniform?
I handed it in. Told the lads I wished them well, but that I owe it to those I love to call it...
But why?
Because I realize what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for the protecting Northreach. I honestly don't know when those monsters will return, but I'm certain they're not finished with us yet. And when they do come back, we need to stand together. All of us. And with you to lead us, milady. I reckon it was you who finally convinced me, Clive. There's no point following orders if they go against everything you believe.
Indeed.
All of us. That has always been Northreach's best hope. We have only to turn our attentions to the truth. Thank you, Philippe, for showing me what I must...
Anything for you. Speaking of standing together, would you mind if I borrowed a few of the lads from the Vale to help? I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks in mind for...
Not at all.
Wouldn't be the first time.
La verdad es que el chico este me mola mucho, eh.
There may be hope for Northreach yet, especially with men like you and Philippe to champion. I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke. In the stubborn, but I suspect I shall have to call upon your aid again. Until then, Clive.
Until then.
Vamos, que vamos a tener que hacer cositas aquí, seguramente una última misión. Pa, para, pa, para, pa, pa, pa. Puta música de esas cosas, no sé qué.
There were ghosts at the gates, not
la cabeza, macho. Todo el rato. La cabeza, voy andando por aquí, estoy leyendo, la tengo en la cabeza. Encima la banda sonora que han hecho ahí, tío. Incluso que me quedo sin muerto, tío. Está muy bien la banda sonora, tío.
Ready, go?
¡Ya! Y aún la vamos a escuchar porque seguramente pasará algo. Aquí no me olvidé para qué íbamos. Ah, vale, sí, para buscar, es que esta. Ah, no, esta era la de las esperas. Uy, hay que ir a las ruinas, no aquí. Ahí está.
I need to deal with these ones first. They deserve a rest.
¡Garuda!
Now to find this spherical echo. This is it.
Ah, por aquí no hay nada más y aquí tenemos una misión, no bueno. Vamos a seguir en orden y ya está.
What's happened?
Ah, Clive. You'll be pleased to know that the negotiations are progressing well.
That is good news.
Yes. Our comrade in Randala has just sent word that the contract should be signed very soon. But I still have much and more to prepare. It's a huge undertaking moving this many bearers at once.
La siguiente misión a la que nos dijeron.
What is it this time? More wild beasts?
Nothing like that. I just need you to go over to the caravans and ask El how long we find out exactly how much faster I need to get all these supplies moved.
All right.
Thanks, Clive.
Don't blame yourself, El. I know, but no buts about it, all right?
Is something wrong?
Vonnie came to give me a message from our intermediate. The talks with the Republican Army have fallen through. They've reached an agreement with the Silver Peak Consortium instead. Though prices have fallen of late, we deliberately offered above the going rate to try and deter, but the Consortium offered double what we did, and the Army jumped.
You had no opportunity to make a counteroffer?
None at all.
El? What's happened? I saw Vonnie leaving.
And with good reason.
¿Hay algo que se pueda hacer?
But I thought we were the only ones the Fist was speaking to. How did the Consortium even find out about it?
It's not so surprising. They have ears all over the Republic. This isn't over. The Consortium will have to sell these bearers eventually. And I'm going to Randala myself.
Alone? You sure that's wise?
Are you offering to be my bodyguard? How kind. Meet me at the checkpoint near the capital gates. I'll send an owl ahead and request a meet. You go to Cashlock, Theo, and get everything ready. We've waited for... Even if I fail to free these bearers, someone needs to prepare the place and keep any prowling beasts at bay.
Oh, and that's me, is it? Well, it looks like I'm following orders till she gets from meeting the Silver Peak Consortium. Who've been doing that? She'll never join them after this, surely. No, she said it herself. She still has plans for Cashlock, even if this... She means to stay with us then. I can't say I'm not happy to hear it, but...
You have to trust her.
You're right. It's what she wants now. And if El's off fighting for the cause, I should do my part too. So I bid you farewell and safe travels, my friend. I'll gather my men and leave for Cashlock. We'll make sure the place is well stocked and defended. You go to Randala and see if you can stop my sister biting the Consortium's heads off. If she were...
I'll do my best. All right. To Randala, then.
Ah, mira, aquí tenemos otra. Bueno, Tenemos otra, tenemos 50 aquí en esta zona.
Better not keep Eloise waiting. What I wouldn't give for a hot.
When are they gonna let us through?
Fly, Ambrosia.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Straight home now. I hope I didn't keep you waiting. Did you arrange to speak with the consortium?
Here they are now.
You wish to consult with me?
I did. It's about the bearers we had all but finished making arrangements to buy them ourselves.
You misunderstand. The consortium had an interest in purchasing. It was only our regard for you that kept us from bidding. But your hesitancy in accepting our offer to you suggested that the regard was not mutual. And so we resumed our business.
I did not hesitate. I am simply not inclined to make such decisions without first... But what is done is done. Come then.
Alas, you are too late yet again. We rarely take on such unconventional merchandise without it. The bearers belong to him now.
Who is your buyer?
A trader from across the water. A most demanding fellow, if it's any consolation. He insisted the bearers be fed, dressed, even given their own bunks for the voyage. That's what you get when you deal with continental types.
I wouldn't know.
Oh yes, the culture on the continent is quite different to ours. They pay good money for bearers not fit for the knacker's yard, and treat them like kings. But as long as...
That does sound... No matter then. If they've already left our shores, there's little that can be done. And with it, my interest in joining your organization.
My associates will be sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry you weren't able to save them.
As am I. But I only have myself to... He was right, you see. The Silver Peak Consortium did intend to buy those bearers, but their representative hinted at a possible purchase when he came to recruit me. I feigned interest in joining them in the hope he might be encouraged to tell me more. As soon as he left, I sent my own offer to Randalar.
So you never...
No. I entertained the Consortium's proposal solely so I was a fool to think they wouldn't find out. I knew exactly who I was dealing with.
You tried.
I did. And if what he said was true, they deserved more. I wanted so badly to see them...
Eloise! Eloise! Word from Cashlock. The village is under it. A pack of beasts have come down from the mountains. Theo and the others are trying to hold them off as best they can, but the odds are against them. They need help, and...
Theo!
I'll go on ahead.
Thank you, Clive. I'll gather some men and join you there. Just...
Hold on, Theo.
Voy desde aquí.
Fly, Ambrosia. Be safe. Down. One to go.
No voy a dejar. Tengo que ir por aquí.
Good girl. I can walk from here.
Me gustaría probar, ya que estamos, la otra vida. A ver qué tiene por aquí. Nos atrae. Vale, esto y esto es útil. Polvo de diamantes. Qué pasada, tío. Me gustan estas dos, Probar sí, a ver qué tal.
Where's Theodore?
Upriver! He led the dragon that way to keep it from the village. But we just have to pray he makes it out in one...
I can do better than that.
Tocaba por cubrir lo mío. Vale, me deja coger la montura.
Let's go. Where are you, Theo? Damn it. The ether's too thick. These creatures have already turned.
Ah, mierda, mierda.
I can't waste any more time. I need to find Theodore before that dragon does.
Ah, pues es como
Looks like it's found me. This thing's turned as well. This isn't going to be easy. Too slow. Theodore, you had me worried for...
Hostia puta, no me lo puedo creer. ¿En serio?
We have to get you out of here.
En serio, hostia, esto es un poco fuerte, ¿eh?
I think it might be a little too late for that. Bearer or no, there's only so much ether a man can take, and that Drake just wouldn't let me leave. You have my thanks, Sid, for finishing what I could not. For keeping Elle's dream. Theodore!
Esto es un poco fuerte, ¿eh? No esperaba que terminara esta misión así, ¿eh? ¿Hay alguna manera de curarle?
Don't make me do this.
Stop it, Theo! Stop!
Stay back, Eloise! He's turned. And so will you! Theodore. Take care of my sister. Theodore, wait. Goodbye, Elle.
Hostia puta, esto un poco fuerte, ¿eh? Esta misión. Madre amor hermoso, yo me espero esto. Vale. Madre amor hermoso, tú.
Thank you, Clive. I think I'll be all right now.
That was true bravery he showed. Leading the dragon away from the village like that. His first instinct was always to protect people. To put others' well-being before his own.
And now he's gone. Because I sent him to that place. Against his will.
It wasn't against his will. He was ready to do whatever it took to show you he could stand on his own. So that you would finally be free to live your own life.
To live my own life. He never could come to terms with the choice I made.
What exactly happened? You once told me Theo was the first bearer you ever helped.
We grew up in Canva. We were born to one of the great trading houses. And I was chosen to inherit the family business. I had my father's head for figures, you see. Theo did not. While I studied the art of commerce, he played at soldiers instead. A late bloomer. In more ways than one. For unlike most bearers, it wasn't until his 15th summer that his powers awakened. My parents tried to drive him out of the house and into the care of the constables. But before they could, I took him into mine.
Theo told me something else. He clearly admired your devotion to the cause of freeing others like him from slavery. But he said you deserved a better life than this. He wanted to free you from what he called your bonds, just as you freed him from his.
I would be lying if I said I had not wondered from time to time how much easier my life might have been if I had allowed Theo to be taken and devoted myself to the family business instead. But I have never regretted the decision I made. Being with my brother meant more to me than tradition or reputation. I only had to look at him to remind myself of that night and the choice I made and the fact that I would make the same choice again in a heartbeat. He was never a burden. How could he even think that? If anything, I was the one who weighed him down.
You weren't, Eloise. He said it himself, that he had always been grateful to you for saving him, and that he wanted to repay you by letting you live the life you were denied. Neither you nor Theo weighed each other down. You loved one another. You did whatever was necessary to continue living your lives together, and you always would have.
You're right. All I ever wanted, all I ever did, it was so we could be together. Oh, Theo, why did you have to... I know Theo wanted me to move on, but I'm staying here at the Crimson Caravans to continue our work. We can make a difference here. We can help people, save them. I need nothing more from life than that. So I'll carry on doing what we do, ensuring that goods, people, bearers get where they need to be, bringing smiles to people's faces just like we always have, and to Theo's, wherever he is. This is the life I have chosen. The life I will always choose.
I've made a choice of my own, to continue helping you however I can, whenever you need it.
Thank you, Clive. Let's go on
Bastante
together
hardcore
then.
esta misión, ¿eh?
For Theodore.
O sea, no sé. Yo no me la esperaba para nada, o sea... Me hubiera metido esta entrada principal y me hubiera creído, o sea, no sé. Muy dura, la verdad. Muy dura esta misión. Bastante durita.
So Dravost is still standing. For now, at least.
Clive! You're here!
And the Akashic?
Mostly off to the north still. But I spoke to Doris's scouts and it turns out things are worse than I thought. Told old Snotty to be ready to seal the north gate. That should buy us some time if we need it. Enough for the villagers to barricade themselves in...
Well done.
Welcome back. I'd never have guessed, you know. Not if August hadn't let slip. Who'd have thought that the savior of Dravost would turn out to be the realm's most keen to help us out again?
I am.
Thought you could sneak off without me, did you?
Blackthorn.
Oh, what are you doing here?
One of the scouts couldn't keep his voice down. Unlike my best mate who didn't think I deserved to know. So then, how long's it been? Long enough for us two to turn into a pair of old codgers, I see.
That your idea of an apology? Prick.
Don't listen to him. You only did what you thought was best. For the village and that.
I did, yeah. But that ain't the whole of it. Vulcan, our master, he left it to me. The best... Bloody stupid tradition. If someone's got talent, You should let them practice their craft, not ask them to settle petty feuds and barter for grain. Our master wasted half his life that way. I wasn't about to...
So you're wasting half of mine instead.
You're what Dravos needed. Under me and my precious ideals, this place wouldn't have lasted a year. So I may be a selfish prick, but I only did what
you had to do was your duty!
Even if it meant we all starved?
Enough. This is no time for bickering. You can finish beating each other up once Dravos...
Fine. I've said my piece anyway.
Yeah. So have I.
Sorry, Clive. I shouldn't have stuck my nose in. We're short enough on time as it is. Still, give us a mo, would you? I need to get my head straight before any of them Akashic try to... You,
Ah, no, espérate. Que me voy a cambiar el ataque, que lo tengo mal puesto. ¿Cuál era? Vale. Me quiero poner aquí este que es el atraer. Y este que es para el área luego. Ahí estamos.
You,
We can't afford to waste any more.
Right you are. Might be worth having one last word with the scouts, though. Don't want any nasty surprises, do we? Oh, and Blackthorn, you and Zoltan might be better off staying inside the... How close are they?
Within sight of the walls, and there are more coming up from the mine.
What was that?
They'll wash right over us if we stay out in the open.
Good idea. Get yourselves inside, but...
Understood.
I'm prepared to fight if I have to.
Well, let's hope you don't. That's our job. Once the scouts are inside, order your men to barricade the gate. No heroic last stands, you hear me? No fighting at all if you can help it.
August's right. I've seen what Akashic beasts can do. The people here are tough and willing, but they ain't equipped to...
I'm going out there. Start work on the gate as soon as I've left.
And if they kill you?
You evacuate. But it won't come to that. I promise. Take good care of Dravos till I get back.
Leave it to me. And give those things what for, yeah?
All right. Which one of you's first?
Madre mía, la habilidad esa, ¿no?
It's all ready. Too slow.
mal, la verdad, la vida esa.
Is that it?
Para meter áreas, es la puta.
Apparently not.
Sí. Ah, vale, son mantícoras. Puede ser niño nuevo, ¿no? No es mantícora, creo que no juego aún.
Not getting past me.
Bosses, tío. Para bosses el otro es muy malo. O sea, es muy malo. Está muy chula las vidas de estas, pero no sé. No sé si prefiero a Titán o prefiero a... Es que Titán, el problema es una de las habilidades que tiene.
No, the question
Pero mete...
Did I miss any?
Mete muy bien. Pero la de Bahamut...
Man alive! You're still in one
Hace
piece.
destrozos,
I slew as many as I could.
As many as I could, he says. The old bleeding lot, more like it. Well, almost.
Only almost.
Yeah, one or two did try to sneak over the wall. But we got the bastards, don't you worry.
Good. Though you do know, more will come in time.
In time, yeah. But we can think about them later. Let's get you back inside.
Sid, You're even more fearsome than you're enough to give those Akashic monsters nightmare. But mostly, I felt grateful.
I'm afraid I've only delayed the... There's no getting rid of that ether flood. Meaning that any living thing which stumbles into those mines will end up...
And that's if the flood don't spread. I hate to say it, but the village's days are numbered.
That may be, but with ether floods springing up all over, it's no less safe than anywhere, and more importantly, we'll fortify the gates to the north. And I'll see that they're guarded day and night.
All right. Then we'll give you a hand shoring up those defenses.
As for you, Blackthorn, that's twice you've turned up when Dravos needed you. So, thanks.
I shouldn't have stayed away so long. And I shouldn't have left without talking it over with you first.
Too bloody right you shouldn't. Though I always envied you. You leaving gave me the perfect excuse, and from that day on I never once stopped to wonder what it would have been like if you'd stayed. You'd have been the death of this place.
Finally. Something we can hope you see the sense of it eventually.
Alive, perhaps. Wealthy even, but... our work used to be the pride of dumb. Now, we churn out the same rubbish day after. It's not about the craft anymore. I wouldn't send my sons to war wearing the shit most of our smiths are making. I've kept working, honing my skills, trying to lead by example, but the average castle apprentice has as much passion for the craft as our current lot. Come back to us, Blackthorn. I'll even man those bellows of yours if it means we can work at the same...
That's a kind offer. Kinder than I deserve. There's people who trust their lives to my steel.
Fair enough.
But that doesn't mean I couldn't visit from time to time. Let's see if we can't rekindle this town's passion for the...
I'd like that.
Just be sure to tell Snotty to let me in the next time I come.
Knowing him... I never thought I'd see the day.
I'd say that went pretty well, wouldn't you?
Even better than I'd hoped.
Sid, I've got some...
And this is?
A token of a... but I'm of a mind to make... Designs for a certain sword have been passed down from Chief...
Now hold on, Zoltan. There's a reason no one's made that blade in centuries. I'll admit your cinders make impressive steel. And I've learned out that the engravings on that thing are in, and they're not just for show, either.
Have you forgotten what brought you back to Dravos in the first place? I knew I'd never surpass you with the hammer and tongs. So between the two of us, I'd say we're the...
Clive, you wouldn't mind if Zoltan came back to the eye?
He's more than welcome, as long as he can keep our secret.
Right. Zoltan, get you...
Ahora forja la espada tocha. Vamos a ir primero a la guarida. Si me pueden dar alguna arma tocha, hostia, mejor que mejor.
Come back.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of papio nuts and all.
We were just about to make a start on that sword.
It's funny, but... You remember Camille? We'll be using his leather work for the grip. The steel, meanwhile, will be tempered in a fire, and that whetstone from the Outer Isles. And the final flourish will be my talented...
A team effort, led by...
Now, save that talk till the thing's finished, yeah? Right. I'm ready if you are.
To the bellows it is, then.
Ya puede ser buena la espada.
Well, bugger me.
Está guapa.
sword to end all swords.
It's... Thank you.
So, does this make you pair the greatest craft?
This? Nah, it'll take more than that to earn us our place in this, but we're up for the challenge.
A list of materials.
Zoltan and I got talking on the...
We reckon with those items there, we could craft something even better.
That's a weapon I'd like to see.
I was hoping you'd say that.
One legend at a time, eh, lads? Before you start on the next.
Good idea. No more drinking to forget my past. It's about time I had something to celebrate.
Then tap the kegs! Vogue!
¿Espada? No está mal, ¿sabes?
Trouble with your gear, or... I never fought me, and if it hadn't been for you, we wouldn't. What do you want?
Oricalco, acero oscuro y cuerno de batalla primitivo. 375. Oh. Lengua petre.
That it? Fine.
Hay cazas nuevas, tío. O sea, eso tiene que ser para in-game, seguramente. Ay, mía, se vienen noches por secundarias, porque esto no me da que no se termina.
Lord Rosfield, is there aught the undone?
Perhaps. My brother said that you're... Have you learned anything of note?
Little and less. I
see.
Be assured, however, that we will not rest. Even now, our archaeologians scour ruins in every...
Fallen ruins, I take it.
Indeed. Ultima's thralls are oft sighted among the remnants of... as if protecting the secrets.
Secrets we'd see unearthed.
Should our methods be of interest, mayhap it would please you to observe some of our numbers.
Would that be possible?
Of course. Perchance you are familiar with Kretov. I was due to visit my colleagues there to collect their... if you would consent to do so in my stead, I'm sure...
All right.
They will be most... Might I suggest you take the road through Titan's Wake? It will lead you straight to the village.
Thank you.
I wish you a safe journey, my lord.
Yo creo que ahí va a estar mejor.
Good girl. mistakes. This might take a while. All right. Be safe.
Ups, pues ha muerto. Dios, qué puto calor, me cago en Dios.
Oh, no. You'll pay for this. There may still be survivors. Whatever that thing is, I'd say it's their leader.
Me estáis follando demasiado sin querer, ¿eh? Me empana demasiado en este combate, tío. Me empana demasiado.
Should have stayed in the past. These must be Cyril's colleagues.
You have our thanks, stranger.
Who are you?
Ah, forgive me, I did not recognize you. We are archaeologians, tasked with surveying this, thanks to them, and to you. We were...
You call that a mercy? Your brothers might still be alive if you put their surely this survey wasn't worth dying for.
We are charged with uncovering Ultima's origin, a duty of the highest import, as I'm sure you will agree.
And you think your dead brothers would agree with you too?
I know they would. They gave their lives for the cause, and now,
To what do we owe the honor of your presence, Lord?
Cyril told me of your work here, and I agree.
I see. That is most kind. Pray, take them then. May the firebird's flame burn ever in...
Esto es una secta. Por mucho que estén en otros favores.
One thing to lay down your life for another.
Ah, you are...
Here.
My thanks. I shall study them, and inform you forthwith if I discover...
Cyril, your survey party losses which could have been avoided. Were these your orders?
No. This was their choice. Every Undying devotes his life to the service of the Phoenix.
Even when death is avoidable.
My lord, I fear that this is the Undying have served the Phoenix for countless generations. We live to serve the Phoenix.
Cyril, I know that you and your brethren are, but allow me to offer you a word of advice. It does not further the cause of the Phoenix to have his loyal followers surrender their lives. Provide your survey parties with an escort. Think not only of how you can serve the Phoenix, but how Joshua, please.
I thank you for your... If you will permit me to respond, our faith in his grace, Joshua Rossfield, and we of the Undying will do what we believe is as first shield to the Phoenix.
I do.
Then we are of the same mind.
Lo que cuesta ahora es subir de nivel, me cago, tío. A ver si con esto termina la misión de este tío también.
Clive!
I just wanted to see how the town's been faring
since we brought all is absolutely wonderful. And firmly at the helm. Our stores are full, and just as the good Lady Jane and...
Are you a lord? Lubor's going to be one too. They're going to make him the Lord of Dalamil. Because of how...
It's the mayor of Dalamil, dear child. But if the people wish me to lead them, I shall. And my first act will be to... Speaking of menaces, there may be a rather worrying one just over the...
May there indeed.
I'm afraid the example Conrad and Natalie set in putting aside their differences and presenting a united... And they might have They have formed what one could call... And they grow more organized by the day.
We'll fight them all off just like last time. Won't we, Lubor?
Of course we will. If we continue to... The longer we avoid facing this one, the more difficult it will be. Our best hope is to nip these efforts by finding those ne'er-do-wells who have yet to join the cause. Perhaps a certain Lord Underhill might be willing to...
How could I refuse?
Thank you, my lord. Victor will fill... I have him stationed by the desert gate, receiving and collating reports from my scouts.
I'll go and speak with him.
Justo me ha dado gato, me cago en Dios.
What's the difference?
League of Outlaws. Sounds like we have some competition. Still in Dalamil, Victor?
Ah, Sid.
I thought you'd have returned to Cosnus by now.
I did. Then I came back. I've developed something of a fondness, and having worked so hard to see it saved from one fate, a sentiment Master Lubor certainly isn't shy.
You're not the only one.
What does he want you to do?
He asked for my aid in putting down the bandits, and he said that you might be able to help me find them.
Then you've come at just the right time. I was on my way to speak with Conrad about how to There are more camps in the vicinity than we can safely strike at once. But we must strike together, and we must strike soon, at as many camps as we can. We can't give this league of theirs time to...
All right. Which camp shall I take?
There's one upriver. Just out there, across the dunes.
Leave it with me. Come on.
Yeah! There's Ned well.
Hay más enemigos por aquí, ¿no?
That must be the camp Victor mentioned. Come on then, Toggle. Thanks, Gal.
That's him! The one who killed Locke and Fingers! Take his head off!
I'd better let Victor know.
Sid, where are you? Ah, I see the bandits didn't pose you any...
No, but...
No.
What is it?
The whole town's in uproar. They're saying that Lubor
Oh?
is a bearer.
What?
Seems that one of our parties wasn't as thorough as they should have been. They let one of the bandits escape. And he said some of the children spotted him, and he was about to... And when Lubor felled him with a bolt of magic and without a crystal.
But that's not possible.
It is, if he's a bearer and has been hiding it all these years. If he has, well, I wouldn't blame him. No, still. All those people see is a man who's lied to them all his life.
Fuck.
I don't know where we go from here, but I know one thing.
You're right.
Hostia, qué guapo, tío. Me mola eso. Yo creo que estaba pensando antes, digo, si lo oculta y tal, realmente cómo puede ser. Lo que pasa es que, claro, a lo mejor lo hace en un acto de tal, como ahora, por salvar a un niño, ha salido sus poderes.
And now everyone knows. I made it a habit to keep a crystal close at hand for just such an... Well, it was bound to come out sooner or later.
We're sorry, Lubor, but we just couldn't anymore.
There's nothing to be sorry for. I rather enjoyed... All that matters to me is that you...
Look at him talking to his betters like it's nothing. All lies, I'll wager. Just like the ones he fed us all these...
Once people make up their minds, it's hard to change. We need to do something. And quickly. Convince the people not to let their prejudices blind them.
You're right.
I'm glad you agree. I'm a Dalmec born and bred. They listen to me. You head to the tavern. Make Conrad and Natalie remember who... They know that Lubor and I are friends. Lord Underhill of Randalar's League of Merchants, however, is a...
I'll do what I can. Lubor, stay here with the children. I can't promise anything, but...
And that is all I can...
Why are you taking the bearers?
Why do they always have to make such a...
You all along.
Forgive me for disturbing you, but...
I've seen your face.
As have I, Lord Under. The rumors that he's a bearer.
He'll never be mayor now.
But what of his wares? Bearer or no, his steel is highly valued throughout the Republic. In this at least he's done the town a service. Might that not earn him a little leniency?
Leniency? He pretended to be one of us when he was laughing behind our backs all the while.
I'm sorry, my lord, but he lied to us. He lied to you. He cannot be
So what do you propose? Will you drive him from his home?
Perhaps. That is a question for the people of Dalimil. And they will thank you not to get...
Madre mía, una banda de gilipollas, tío. Te lo juro, tío. El racismo que hay aquí con esto es para flipar,
The townsfolk have made their minds up.
There was nor I. Conrad and Natalie refused to
Porque
consider
tenía
anything but
nosotros,
their
ya
own
está.
wounded.
You never know. Once their anger is cooled, they might see things.
All right.
Why the hell would Victor take the bearer's son?
For a ship.
I assume the situation...
There's still hope.
But perhaps not in this lifetime.
You mustn't think like that, Lubor. We'll talk some sense into them in the end.
No, you won't. And your efforts would be better spent elsewhere.
But Lubor...
Rosina would often tell me that steel does not lie. That a blade is a reflection of the smith who fought. To yourself be true. That was rather an ironic one when you consider that her life was taken with a blade of her own making. But I do not doubt that she was always true to... And so must I be. I must do what I know to be right. And now, I must embrace my new role of villain so that the people are only united can they hope to stand against the threat that awaits. I'll need to make a suitably
Don't go, Lubor. You're the only one who was ever kind to. We'll be all alone.
Trust me, little ones. It is for the best that I go. What?
How could it possibly be for the best? The least you can do is give the townspeople a chance to change them.
I would not take it, Victor. It's over.
Over, you say? And so just like that, you're going to throw this... I thought you were better than this, but it seems you had me fooled as...
Victor.
Forget it.
You sure you're making the right choice, Lubor?
Of those available to me, but where are my manners? Here. Right then. I have packing to do.
If there's anything I can do...
I'll bear it in mind.
Parece que igual hay una última misión con esto. Pero vamos, qué puto racismo hay aquí con las estas, tío. Vale. Ya van quedando menos. Bueno, es lo de menos.
Time to fight.
Terminamos con las misiones, ¿eh?
Damn it. The whole village is turned. No need to ride from here.
Se ha ido una mierda esta ciudad, ¿eh? cambiar un poco, sube de nivel.
Run like the wind.
Yo creo que tenía el juego a nivel 45, bueno. Eso sí llevo, pues. Eso sí me llevo.
Be safe.
Este está abierto.
That's all of them. A wine can uncross his toes.
¿Qué quieres, gordo? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Acabas de comer? ¿Papito? Venga, a dormir. Te encanta llorar a estas horas, ¿eh?
Doris should be somewhere nearby.
Quiere llorar.
Assuming she's still here.
Qué guapo que eres. ¿Qué quiere?
Ah, Clive, I was just about to send for you. I'd like you to take something to Sir Wade up in Eastpool. Seeds for planting. Thought it was about time they started growing their own food. I'll keep providing them with whatever they need in the meantime, of course. But if Eastpool's going to survive, it's got to be able to fend for itself. As of those poor bearers. They've lived their whole lives in servitude, but now they're their own masters. Small wonder they ain't got the foggiest how to provide for themselves. So it's up to us to teach them. And if you're wondering why you... Well, the wagoneers taking supplies up that way have been coming back with more and more reports of Akashic around the village of late. Sir Wade's putting a brave face on it, but I think even he's starting to worry. And if he's likely to share those concerns with anyone, it's you.
All right.
Thanks. Wouldn't ask if I didn't have to. There. That should be enough to keep them in Gazal Greens for a few years at least.
Ay, qué sueño, tú.
Gazal
Bueno, antes de
Greens.
irme a dormir, me apetecería acabar las secundarias.
Crop, I'll admit. But they're hardy, they grow fast, and they fill a hole. Better that than something that'll wither away at first frost. And chocobos love them too, which is no small thing. When I say all of us need to pull together to get Eastpool back on its feet, I mean all of us. They ain't exactly succulent, but...
I'll take your word for it.
Anyway, Sir Wade'll know what to do with them. I'll go up there and show it.
I'm sure you will.
Just because the heavens have gone to rack and ruin, it don't mean we have to. I've got greens of all shapes and sizes.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
It's been a pleasure, Doris.
I'll give your offer some thought.
How goes the investigation?
Sid, what brings you to Martha's Rest?
You. I heard you were out here on your own, tracking our slaver. I trust you're being careful.
Of course. And it had to be me. The bearers from the Dragon's Eyrie confirmed a long-held suspicion of mine. She's no fool. If we'd come in force, she would have spotted us straight away, and then vanished without a trace.
That was her just now, wasn't it? So, was it a fruitful reunion?
I'd say so. She tried to recruit me. Seems her time in Rosaria is coming to an end. She's abducted bearers from across the region and is looking to smuggle them back into Sambrek. After her brush with those beastmen on the road to Northreach, she hired herself an Imperial escort, which she wants me to join. She's dangerous, Sid, but I think I can stop her.
Then I'm going with you. I'll take care of the escort. You can see the bearers to safety. Where are they?
The Baum Archers, soon to break camp. You go on ahead. I'll follow once I've sent word back to the hideaway.
Lord Rossfield, what brings you to Eastpool?
A delivery from Martha.
These are Gizal greens. Martha's keen to cut the apron strings there. I jest, of course. You see, I had thought we might be able to revive the old wheat fields, but they'd long since gone to...
Martha was hoping he might be able to show the bearers so that they'll be able to fend for themselves.
That's not a bad... These bearers had only recently escaped their... They know little of freedom, of providing for themselves and their loved ones. Unless we teach them how to live like free men, I fear that all we have achieved in bringing them here is to exchange one master for another. Not that myself and the Guardians have been the best example to them so far. It's about time we all started to provide for ourselves. Unfortunately, we've been a little too busy of late to focus on...
The Horde is close. They're coming, Sir Wade. All of them.
Damn it all. I thought we'd have... Gather the men in the square. Send to the rest...
Yes, Sir Wade.
The Horde.
A Kashek. A veritable legion of them. They've been seen prowling around the north. We don't have the numbers to hold back a swarm that size. I had hoped to build a perimeter wall so that myself and...
Now you're out of time.
Precisely. If reinforcements from the rest arrive before they do, we...
What if you could call on reinforcements from...
You mean the bearers? We brought them here so they might live...
So wait. You said you lack men to defend the village. And the bearer, they may not be trained soldiers like your Guardians. What help they are able to offer could...
You're right, my lord. I will... My friends, I humbly beg your aid. We Guardians are few and our enemies many. But I swear we can defeat them with you at our side.
You would send us to the slaughter? To serve as bait for those fiends so that you and your men might be spared. And to think we trusted you. Say what you will. A home is not worth dying for.
But it is worth fighting for. Sir Wade fights to give you lot a chance. Just like I do. Just like Sid does. We all wanted to give you a home where you could be free. And you got one, didn't you? This place, Eastpool. This is your village. Your home. And if you don't fight to protect what's yours, you'll lose it. You know I'm right. This world wants to take everything from you. Everything. Your homes, your freedom, your very lives. So then, are you going to stand by and let that happen to you? Are you going to accept fate like good little Bran did and die, having never stood up for yourselves? Or will you fight like free men and women?
What are you doing?
All right. Give me a sword. I never dreamt I'd have a home of my own. And now that I have, I don't want to lose it. I will protect what's mine, or die trying.
We all will. Free men and women, fighting together. For Eastpool!
For Eastpool!
Thank you, Martha.
Don't mention it. Just promise me one thing. That you'll show them how freeborn fight.
Gladly.
Well, if it was numbers you allowed...
Thanks to you.
Me?
Lord Rossfield, my lady.
So what's the plan of action?
We'll divide our forces into several small detachments, each made up of guardians, bearers, and guards from the rest. Upon engaging with the Akashic, each detachment will keep the creatures occupied.
You're going to lure them into the village?
I am. We will have neither the time nor the resources to treat the wounded, so by coordinating our withdrawal through the use of messengers drawn from among the bearers, we will, with luck, that point will be the village square. The perfect place for our most able warriors to surround them, and for you and I to finish them off.
A sound plan, but one that'll require a leader with a cool head and strong... I'd say you have both in abundance, Sir Wade, but you'll be needed. Please, leave the last of the fighting to me.
Ha! And let you have all the glory.
Sir Wade! They're here!
Then you know what you must do. We work together. Everyone playing their, each shielding the other, that no man might fall. For Rosaria!
For Rosaria!
We've no time to argue, my lord. I'll do as you ask.
And I will do as you ask.
Suppose we'd better do our bit too then, eh?
Right you are, Martha.
Me ha gustado, la verdad. Me mola porque sé que por ahora hemos hecho como los desenlaces de las zonas, tío.
The calm before the storm.
Y lo han metido como secundaria por poner, pero pues ya lo han puesto como principal de estas. Porque al final son desenlaces de las zonas.
Not let this village fall.
Ha sido bien. Tampoco ha sido un enemigo tocho. Mira, que está subiendo nivel ahora, Jesús.
Looks like that's the last of them.
Lord Rossfield! Change of plan!
What is it?
Owl from the rest. An Akashic curl's been sighted on Rhiannon's ride and is headed in their direction.
Well, the better half of her guard is here. So wait, how many Akashic remain in Eastpool?
Hard to say. My men are still facing some resistance. I could order a detachment or...
No. Let them finish the job. You stay here too, Sir Wade. I'll go after the curl. Join me only when Eastpool is won.
If you're sure, may the Founder protect you.
Vale, es ahí.
Next one's mine. I might...
Come on.
¿Dónde está el venga ese? Ahí está.
There it is. With me, Togo.
La espada esta que hemos pillado. ¿Qué pasa? Peñajo. Voy a buscar por aquí.
All right.
¿Qué busca, chiqui?
Back to Eastpool.
Lord Rossfield. The Curl, is it?
It's dead.
Thank the Founder for that. And for you, my lord. We were able to eradicate the rest of the... I have guardians posted around the village to keep watch for further... I hesitate to say it, but... I think it might be over.
I think it might.
We saved Eastpool. Thank you, my friends.
No, Sir Wade. It's us who should be thanking you. You brought us together.
We never had nothing to call our own before, but now we do. We really do.
Forgive us, Sir Wade. You and your people saved us, but there's no doubt in my mind we're free men now. So we have to start acting like it. We have to fight to protect what's ours. To protect...
And we shall. We all shall. Together. This is our home. And if anyone or any...
They'll have us to answer to.
Come on then. Let's get to work.
This village isn't going to rebuild itself.
Podemos parar otra trama ya. De secundarios. A ver, no me alegra que Sir Wade que es
They're
que
not
debía.
slaves anymore.
No. They're Rosarians. Your father took pity on the bearer's plight, and I believe if he was still with us today, this is what he would have wanted.
I believe you might be right.
I shall remain here, my lord, and do what I can to help rebuild. After all, this is my home now too. And I could hardly call myself an Eastpoolian if I didn't pull...
I think you'll find it's Eastpudlian, Sir Wade. But you should be proud all the same. I'll have to pull my weight too. Can't have the rest getting outclassed. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back.
Can we continue to count on your support, Martha?
Of course. And I'd be counting on yours. Us Rosarians have got to stick together, haven't we?
Indeed we have.
And Clive, come by the Golden Stables when you get the chance. I ain't paid you for delivering them seeds yet.
All right.
Lord Rossfield, do you remember our very first
Sí,
mission
el
together?
puto Morbo.
Clearing the goblins from the Stillwind marshes.
Sí, sí. A mí me gustó el juego, pasar la primera misión está guapa.
There's one sight that I shall never forget. Since that day, there have been more than a few times when I felt when the odds seemed so stacked in the enemy's favor. But every time, I would think back to the look to be a shield. Know that whatever trials Eastpool may face, I shall never lose.
So Wade, you have always been a true shield. I know that Eastpool,
Porque como leo tan rápido, le doy a la A para pasar al siguiente diálogo. Claro, como los planos duran el diálogo, si das a la A, salta al siguiente plano. Entonces a veces se te pea.
I know the rest of the world will be safe in yours.
Pero porque leo más rápido de lo que habla.
I'll do my best.
Con las principales sí que no suelo pasar ni un diálogo, pero las secundarias, como hay mucho que leer, sí que leo rápido y voy pasando y ya está. Pues en principio hemos pegado ya las tramas de aquí también. Ya aquí no queda nada más abierto.
The hero returned. It's lucky you came by when you did. Not only did my seeds get delivered, but you went and saved.
I just did what I could.
And it's only right that you take it before I
Thank you, Martha.
So, Eastpool's finally back on its and a home to free bearers. Who'd have thought?
Well, it was your idea.
I know that, but I never stopped to think what it would mean. Bearers in charge of themselves, thinking for themselves, though I suppose the rest ain't much different nowadays. You know, bearers living free like that. Reminds me of when I first knows as I am to recall that particular...
I take it you didn't always see eye to eye?
Well, if you really want to know, I started doing what I do long before I met Sid. In fact, that's how I met him.
Ojo, vamos a verlo.
He showed up at the stables one day, asking questions about who'd been buying up bearers. Founder knows what he thought I was doing with them. Running a hunt, poking at me. I thought he was a new constable. And before I knew it, the cheeky arse was rattling on at me about how I was doing it all wrong. Told me I was giving them relief, but not freedom. That my bearers were still dying as slip. Right under my skin it did. Told him if he didn't like it, he could... And do you know what he did? He smiled. And then he laughed. And then I did the same. We made a pact that day, that when...
And you were?
Well, we both wanted the same thing. To make just like your dad. Do you know I was born right around the time Elwyn became Archduke? Growing up, I saw how he tried to change. He certainly didn't lack for ambition, that one.
Indeed. But the loftier one's ambitions, the harder they are to achieve. Which is why those of us who follow in their footsteps need to finish what people like Sid and my father started.
Suppose you're right, aye. And if we don't manage it, there's always a good thing we've got a few half-decent swords. It's almost enough to give you a little bit of hope.
Just a little.
Anyway, enough nattering. Better get back to work. Let's see about making everyone some dinner, shall we? The least the folks who saved Eastpool deserve is a hot meal. And you and me ain't gonna save the world on an empty stomach.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Vale. Pues hemos terminado la trama de esto también. ¿Qué es esto? Campamento de la esclavista. Vale. Ah, está a todos los CIEs ahora, como se llame.
Good. They haven't broken camp yet. How did Doris come to know a slaver?
We've waited long enough. She's not coming.
Back to civilization, is it?
With all haste. Lest any of you lackwits start. I presume your men are ready. We've suffered too many delays as it is. Any more and
Yes, Mom.
Oh, it appears we have company. Kill him.
You're welcome to try. So much for your escort.
You'll forgive me for not avenging my men. I surrender.
Sid.
Su hermana o algo.
Ah, Doris. I take it you know, I always wondered where you'd vanished to.
But cost better fighting for a cause than killing for coin. I'm sorry, Sid. I should have told this woman. My former master. Once trained bearer, she raised me like a daughter. And I did.
It wasn't all terrible. You were always so eager to learn. And had such clever hands. But you proved yourself a master of both. How about it, my little dagger?
I never swore my blade to you. To liberate the bearers of this world. Farewell, master.
You always were a righteous child. Perhaps that's the reason I loved you so.
What do you want to do with her?
I am not the killer she wanted me to be. And she no longer has friends in high places. The Dame does, though. Her connections at the Imperial Court will see that justice...
All right.
I am. And thank you.
And I should head back to the hideaway and put Cole's
Welcome back, Sid. Doris's message just arrived. I hear you saved more bearers from being smuggled across the border.
With any luck, they'll be joining us in the hideaway. Oh, and your letter. You don't need to worry about Doris anymore.
I'd been hoping as much. She mentioned one or two things in her. So the slaver we'd been chasing all these months was her former master. She's been arrested, by the way, over in Sandbreak. And she won't be getting off lightly. The Empire may have no love for bearers. Can't have been easy for Doris.
I'm sure it wasn't.
I hope so. Suppose you should know, eh? You had quite the past yourself before you came here. Or anyway, thanks again, Sid.
Keep up the good work, Cole.
Me quedaba nada de subir nivel, ¿eh?
Don't tell me we've run out of pepio nuts.
Have you tried Molly's lemon tarts?
Pues no creo que vaya todas las misiones secundarias. Y más o menos la 1 menos cuarto. Puedo seguir un poquito al principal.
Canva lost? It can't be true.
Miss, can we read Miss Editor's story for a lesson today?
With Canva in the hands of Akashic.
Ah, so?
Good, thankfully.
I'll fit into the smell. May I... The Telemon furnace!
She's a beauty.
You saved my bacon again, Sid!
It's fine, really. My bag, sir.
Oh, don't say that. I'm sure I can make a few improve.
You could just buy me a bigger...
How about that clasp? Looks a bit stiff. Reckon you could loosen it up? And I reckon I know how. With a new alloy we've been working on. It's a metal, see? So it's lovely and strong, but...
Stretchy metal.
That is the spirit. So?
Thank you, Owain.
Shh, don't mention it. And I wanted to get some practice in using that metal anyway. Can't think of any right now, but that's our job, innit? Maybe even out there, too. One day, the whole world's gonna know about the inventions you've helped us put together.
They'll hardly believe their eyes.
¿Qué me ha dejado para tener más pociones y mierdas? Uy, que no hemos subido nivel, seguro. Ah, pues sí. Ocho pociones ya, ¿no? Cuando un logro entiendo que es la máxima que hemos hecho. ¡Hala! Libre de secundarias, vamos a jugar la partida.
So, she don't need sails?
Vamos aquí primero. ¿Se cambia la música, tío? Voy a cambiarla.
The stew's awfully.
Tenemos carta de agradecimiento, ¿no? Ahí lo veis. Es que esto ha sido duro, ¿eh? No me lo esperaba nada. Y esta de Marta. Y me han dado cosas. Yo creo que aún así queda, ¿eh? Es que no huevo, ¿eh? Yo creo que esto tiene que ser para el endgame o algo, o si no, no lo sé. No sé qué tipo de endgame te da este juego, la verdad. Está divertido, si no va.
Don't tell me we've run out of pepio nuts at
Mira
all.
comprar cosas.
Aye, it's a dangerous world out there. You're rubbing me blind, you know.
What do you recommend?
Esta bueno. ¿No está aquí cofre? O me ha dejado un cofre por ahí, pero esto ya miraré. todos los MCNs y ya está. O sea, básicamente tenemos ya todas las canciones. Quitando las dos que sean por cofres, que en alguna aldea me he dejado. Pues se puede ver fácil. Aparte de eso, ya tenemos todo. Pero es que básicamente están las últimas misiones. Por mucho a lo mejor hay alguna más, pero a lo mejor ya es en el endgame, no sé. Pero ya es fin del juego. O sea que no vamos para allá.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
Además,
Your
aquí están
benefactors
estas
are
son
a
las
generous lot.
recompensas.
You earned this.
Con 300 puntos más esto y estos son 700. Que hayan tantos puntos significa que esto es para el endgame o algo, ¿eh?
Come again. I may have more for you.
Ah, principal. A ver por dónde tira esto.
How are you feeling, Joshua?
Better than I was.
But not nearly as well as you should be. Your cuts and burns may have healed, but your body still bears the burden of every spell cast.
And what would you have had me do? It was no ordinary foe we faced. It was the Warden of Darkness. Yet still, it was not enough. The king could have ended me at any moment, but instead chose to toy with me like a curl does a mouse.
You underestimate yourself.
Oh, it was crystal clear. Only one man established his dominance that day, and that man was Barnabas.
Yo no sé qué vamos a hacer para ganar al Barnabas este los cojones. Como no nos fusionemos o algo.
That was ill-spoken. It's just, I have never felt so powerless. And when so many are looking to us for strength, perhaps the prince feels the same.
Este es el otro cristal que queda, ¿eh? La primera vez que lo vemos. ¡Ojo! Míralo. Ah, no. Ese es el cristal, el otro. Es que está a la luz. El cristal está roto. A ver qué va a pasar con este. Es que como parece que su aventura no ha acabado.
What is this place?
La niña. A ver, niña. Yo no sé qué coño eres tú, pero has salido demasiadas cinemáticas. Yo creo que tú eres poderosa. De alguna forma. Algo tiene que ser esta chavala. Es que no me lo creo. Ah, no sé. No entiendo. Aquí hay algo que me oculta.
Here, it's fresh from the well.
Algo me están ocultando con la chavala esta.
Grandmother told me spirits sometimes get lost, and that the lanterns guide them to their proper place. I set one on the river for her when she passed away.
La lanza recordará que mató a su padre.
The fiend works from the shadows. Was it you who guided my hand then, Ultima? No,
not you. This is my doing, my fault, my sin to bear. And for it, I must atone.
Your hurts are healing nicely. It was my poultices that saw you well.
You make them?
And sell them, or try to. Earns me enough for bread, most days.
Forgive me. I have nothing to...
I know, but I couldn't just leave you lying there. You're going then?
Of course.
No sé muy bien qué va a hacer el juego con este personaje, te lo juro, ¿eh?
Thanks to you and your poultices.
Will you promise to come back and visit?
No sé. Esta niña, no sé. No me fío, tío. O sea, o me fío, pero que no sé. Es que ha salido mucha cinemática la niña esta. Entonces es como de... Algo tiene que pasar. Si no, vaya, no sé. Vaya baiteo te meten en todas las cinemáticas.
Well, Phoenix, it would seem that I owe you my wings.
Ojo, se nos va a unir, baby. A ver, hemos visto que aunque pierdan el poder, se pueden seguir convirtiendo en lo que son. Puede que vaya a luchar bajo contra nosotros y nos fusionemos o algo así.
You will be returning to Waloed soon, I gather.
I see no reason to wait.
Then neither do I.
I can think of a few, but I doubt they'll stop you. You will take your medicine.
Of course, Lady Daya.
Set on leaving already, are you?
How long will it take us to get back to Ash?
Dunno, about the same amount of time it took us to get here. Maybe less, if your uncle can find someone trustworthy to patch up the Enterprise. All depends on where we're putting into port, mind.
Yes. It's not as if we can put ashore wherever we choose. We have to assume that the whole of Ash is hostile, and that we'll be attacked on sight.
Then we must find a place they won't think to look. And I have an idea who might know of one.
The Professor! I'll go and tell you coming.
While you're plotting our course, I'll be in the shelves with your lawsman. I wish to pick his brains about Ultima.
Then I'll talk to Karen about supplies for the journey. They may not be easy to come by in Ash.
Your brother's body won't take much more of this recklessness. You know that, don't you?
I do.
¿Cómo que nuevas cartas? O sea, misiones secundarias. Vale. Lo estaba temiendo. Hostia, cacerías nuevas. Rango S. Hostia, aún esto. El desierto de Belcroy. Puede estar en cualquier lado de estos.
Come on.
Ay. Puede que esté en el norte. Ahora no mantícula, Ah, mira, está ahí, ¿no? No, eso no es. Voy a ver si está allá en el norte, donde hicimos la otra caza. Si no, iremos para allá, ¿eh?
Time to fight. No mistakes.
Tiene que estar en el... Por el sur, pues. Ha dicho desierto de Belcroy. O sea que... No puede ser ni el norte ni el sur. ¿Dónde puede estar? Ah, mira, ahí está. Un poco regulinchi, ¿eh? O sea, yo creo que vamos a hacer este y ya está. Como un poco al arrastre, ¿eh? No senta mal la cena o algo, tío.
Stay close to the
No me des el mega fútbol que me da, quiero ver nada. creía por un momento que me ha matado. Digo, ¿cómo me ha matado? Cálculo, eso que necesitaba.
Size.
Necesitamos oricalco para esa arma, ¿no?
Come back.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of Papillon.
Yep. So, what'll it be?
Oricalco, necesitamos acero oscuro y cuerno de batalla primitivo. Entiendo que eso sea con más cacerías que aún no hemos visto.
Anything else?
Knowledge hoarded is knowledge lost. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them. I have quite the find for you today. You wish to study the tomes?
Personaje ya tenemos casi todo, ¿eh? Pues ahora nos faltan aquí dos. Uy, demasiado hasta aquí, ¿eh? Están 3 personajes solo, ¿eh? Por ver. Conceptos clave. Ahí está también. Es que aquí no dice nada del tema de las invocaciones icons, tío. Quiero ver. A lo largo de la historia se ha dado cuenta de la existencia de 8, cada uno con su afinidad de metal propia. Hay 8. Claro, ¿cuál es el octavo, tío? ¿Qué? La primogénesis es la esta, ¿no? Y faltan 2 enemigos más. Y está la quimera. Aquí falta un enemigo más. A ver, yo espero que sea el Végimo. O sea, me ponéis al Végimo, me voy a cabrear bastante. Que no me metáis un puto Végimo en este juego. Jodas, ¿sabes? Faltan 3 enemigos por ver. Y ya está.
Did you learn everything you needed?
Mid said I could ride the Enterprise next. Covered in nicks and lumps.
Guardado. Y vamos a ver hasta dónde nos dirige la misión principal.
I'll still say it were a compliment.
Vamos, yo estoy casi para el arrastre.
Clive,
Esto es una mierda.
I was wondering when you'd arrive. Please tell me you've come to take our young prodigy here off my hands.
I'm not here for Mid. I need information on Ash.
Then why not ask Molly if you can look in one of her ovens? Go on.
As soon as the Enterprise is ready, we'll be setting out for Drake's Spine. And we're going to need a safe place to land.
Preferably one that won't see my ship blown to shit and splinters.
If it were that easy, do you think Waloed would have resisted invasion for so long? Very little is known of Ash, and the information we do have is spotty and outdated. We have the good King Barnabas to thank for that. Waloed's borders have been closed to outsiders since the day he seized the throne. If there is anywhere safe to land, you won't find it on my map.
Then tell us what we will find. I'm sure you know better than we do.
But no splinters.
All right, if it will get you out of my hair. But interrupt me, and it's over. Understood? Barnabas Tham, the one they call the last king. Understand him, and you will understand the kingdom of Waloed. Barnabas was only a boy when he arrived from beyond the southern seas, and barely a man before he united the ragged tribes of Ash. And having unleashed them upon the formidable Veldamark, he set his throne upon the ancient kingdom's ruins. The victory sent shockwaves around Valencia, tales of Odin's might spreading through every court, parlor, and drinking hole in the realm. Note that this was in the year 843, and that the king still sits upon his throne some 40 years later, quite untouched by time. Waloed's recent inaction left many wondering if Odin had lost his appetite for war. And yet here we are. The Einherjar was committed to the fray, a bold declaration of intent. Orcs swarm around Drake's Fang, and throngs of Akashic haunt Canvas streets. Though how precisely the havoc they wreak serves Waloed remains unclear. Regardless, if the order to attack truly came from King Barnabas, then one thing is certain. Waloed has achieved the impossible, and made bedfellows of beastmen and the ether-addled alike. All of which is a roundabout way of saying that you will be in unknown territory when you set foot on Ash. Much of the continent has already been lost to the Blight, and what few ports remain will be fiercely guarded. And that is to say naught of its natural defenses. Offshore currents will cast an ill-equipped ship out to sea one moment, and dash it against the rocks the next. But then the Enterprise is anything but ill-equipped. And Mid has made land there before. Now, if only there were someone with an intimate knowledge of the Shadow Coast, and where a daring gentleman might put ashore. You see, Clive, you had the answer all along.
Do you think you can get us back to that beach, Mid?
Picked you up from it, didn't I? Not that it were easy. The currents were a right bastard. But then, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth doing, would it?
Well said. Thank you, Lady Vivian.
If a few morsels of common knowledge and a sprinkling of tavern talk are worthy of your thanks, I wonder what genuine intelligence might earn me.
Probably more visits. Mid, I need everyone in the ale hall now. I'll fetch Joshua from the shelves.
Aye, aye, Captain.
No me puedo creer que me des ahora otra secundaria justo aquí con el aficionados. Dios santo de puta alma. En serio, tío. ¿No me dejáis avanzar con esto? Otra secundaria. O este no voy a acabar. Se me la odia. ¿Qué coño queréis ahora?
Please, Your Grace. My Lord Marquis.
Sí, es tú, te dejo.
Yote, is anything the matter?
My lord. Yes. It's your brother, though he does his best to hide it.
I had feared as much.
There are certain elixirs which can ease the suffering of those afflicted by the curse.
But
His Grace's case is severe. The drafts are... So I consulted with Tarja, and thankfully a recipe was found. The only problem, and our supplies are almost... Unless we can secure more soon, your brother's anguish will likely become unbearable. My lord, I know that I have no right to make demands of you.
A ver, si me lo pides así, obviamente lo voy a hacer.
Anything.
Thank you, my lord.
So?
A rare herb by the name of... It grows only where the ether is densest. We discovered a patch near the aqueduct in Rosaria. But alas, yet more ether has erupted from the earth there recently, leaving the whole area flooded. The search continues for a new source. One that we might reach without being turned.
So it's only that you can't reach it? The stone and water itself is unharmed by the flood?
Well, yes, but...
Then I shall go in your stead.
But, my lord...
You've yet to find another source, correct? So for now, the aqueduct is our best hope. Besides, I'm a dominant. The ether can't hurt me.
Well, if you're sure, my lord. Stonewort is easily identified by its blood-red blooms. Search around the aqueduct, and you're sure to find some soon enough. I shall remain here and prepare the other ingredients.
Vamos ahí al lado. ¿Qué quieres, chiquitín? ¿Qué? ¿Qué quieres? No sé qué quieres, te lo juro,
There's the aqueduct. Now to find our stonewort. Yote mentioned blood-red petals. Just my luck. Won't be picking anything till they're gone. There's only one thing for it.
¿Qué quieres tú? Gordo. ¿Qué quieres tú?
Here it is. Better collect as much as I can before reinforcements arrive.
Comida no vas a tener, ya has comido. Y agüita tienes fresca que te he puesto a cenar. ¿Qué, mimito o qué? ¿Qué, mimito? Gordo. Es que me pongo en posición para que duerma, para que hace calor,
Right. That should do it. Let's get these back to Yote.
Covered in nicks and lumps.
Yote, I brought back all the stone and water I could find. Will this be enough?
¿Qué quiere?
Hey.
Yes, my lord. Thank you. I'm sure it will serve us until we can find another source.
I'm very glad to hear it.
You and His Grace are very much alike. You think only of how you might help others. And
No more than you have minding my brother. You've risked a lot for him.
I am honored that you should say, but I beg you, my lord, do not give too much of yourself.
I'll keep that in mind.
Esta misión ha sido súper fácil.
How do you split the sea?
I have no reason to assume.
Clive, you must listen to this. Lawsman, tell him.
Do you recall when we spoke before on the divinity of Ultima? Well, it inspired me to delve deeper into the subject. And what I discovered appears to agree with the findings of His Grace.
You will recall that my quest to uncover Ultima's origins began with the mural at Phoenix Gate. But while I've always known it to be important, its secrets have heretofore eluded me. Now, however, I believe I know where to find the more complete example, one that will reveal all we seek.
Master Clive, have you ever in your travels chanced to hear of the Circle of Malleus? I would think not, if you have. But there was once a time when the faith flourished, the oldest known religion in the Twins, and though its popularity eventually waned on Storm, hints of its dogma remain embedded in more modern faiths such as the Crystalline Orthodox.
Wait, you said it waned on Storm. What of Ash?
Religious monuments are often torn down or repurposed when new faiths rise to prominence. But if no new faith arose, then perhaps the ancient temples might still stand. And so, you see now why I must accompany you to Waloed.
It would appear the past still has much to teach us, though in this case, it would not have been possible without the musings of Moss. To think that you carried a copy of my old mentor's chronicles all along. I am relieved to discover it in good hands.
I shall guard it with my life.
Joshua, if you're finished here, join me in the ale hall. I need to speak to everyone before we leave.
Right away.
Mid said I can ride the Enterprise.
My apologies.
By now you've all heard where we're going and why. So I won't bother you with the boring details, only the important ones. If we attempt to approach Stone here by sea, there's a good chance we'll be sighted and fall prey to the capital's artillery. So instead, we'll disembark on the southwest coast and make for Drake's Spine on foot. I say we, but it's highly likely the entirety of Ash is under the rule of Ultima. A large party would only attract unwanted attention, as well as slow our march and require supplies which may be difficult to obtain. Only Joshua and I will be going. And a scout. Preferably a good one. Gav, do you know of any?
You bet your ass I do. Might still borrow some of Lady Vivian's maps, though. Just in case, like.
Once you've dropped us off at the Shadow Coast, you need to retreat into neutral waters, fly merchant colors, and stay inconspicuous. If you sense any danger at all, you leave us behind and return to Storm.
Inconspicuous is my middle name. But like hell am I leaving anyone behind. The ship ain't going nowhere till your scurvy mugs are smiling on deck.
Jill, the Enterprise will appear a tempting target for royalists and pirates alike. You're to stop anyone boarding.
Don't worry. I'll keep the ship and her crew safe. You'll be needing passage home, after all.
But... very well.
If there are no questions, I'll see you all at the docks.
Let me know when you're leaving. I want a word before
Wait,
you go.
yeah.
Of course. Is something wrong?
Not at all, honestly. Just wanted to let you know that I'll keep things in order.
I'll hold you to that.
Pues ya estaría.
Reckon it'll be a long walk to the capital if we follow the cliffs. I'll scout ahead, see if I can't find us an inland route.
Clive. There's something I've been meaning to ask. You took her icon, didn't you?
Yes, I did. She understood.
Oh, she understood. Understood that you decided to save the world all on your own, and that you'd die without her power. How dare you make her choose? You knew damn well she'd never refuse you. But I will. You can't keep pushing us away, Clive. The world is ours to save, not yours.
I used my gift because I thought it was the right thing to do.
And you truly believe this will save you? Will save us all?
I do.
Then so be it. Just don't forget, you're not alone.
Think I found us a trail. Did I miss something?
Only that Joshua didn't.
I don't get it.
Pues con esto y un bizcocho.
Always wanted to.
Con esto y un bizcocho, yo creo que ya está. Tiene pinta de ser gigante esta zona. Pinta de ser grande esta zona. Pues, lo que me deja guardar.
Is it Ash?
We're in Waluda territory now. Don't expect a warm welcome.
Oh, I don't know, Clive. That castle over there looks inviting enough.
Shall we sample its inhabitants' hospitality?
¿Me deja guardar ya? Sí. Vale, pues con esto y un bizcocho paramos ya. Y así voy a dormir. 3 horitas ha sido hacer todo. O sea que mañana yo creo que es full principal. A ver si así lo terminamos. Así que nada, espero que os haya gustado, contad parecido y mañana seguimos con el juego. Hasta luego.